In today's video, we are going to be going over my top 5 seasonal and holiday-based niches for you to start publishing books in on Kindle Direct Publishing and how you can take full advantage of them. What is going on, guys? My name is Dane. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. On this channel, I talk all about self-publishing books on Amazon, online entrepreneurship, and just lifestyle in general. So if that kind of thing interests you, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. If you noticed, I am wearing a hat today. If you've seen my past videos, I don't usually wear hats. My hair is just really long, so hopefully you can get past that and we can actually focus on what this video is about, which is going to be all about the top 5 seasonal and holiday style niches for you to publish your books on Kindle Direct Publishing. These are just my opinion. These are what I have tested, and these are what have done the best for me. So take it as you will. But these 5 seasonal / holiday style niches have absolutely killed it for me. And I just want to say one thing before we get into this though. Obviously, when it comes to seasonal and holiday style niches, there's going to be a peak season and there's going to be a low season with these kind of books. So don't expect these kinds of books to be consistent throughout the entire year. They're going to obviously peak very hard during their specific holiday or specific season that they do well in, and then they'll die out and then they'll come back maybe the next year round. Okay, so I just want that to be clear to you. Don't base your entire publishing portfolio off of these kinds of books because there's going to be low points. Okay, so anyways, I don't want to waste more time. Let's just jump right into my computer here and get into the video. Okay, so we're in my computer here and you see on the screen top 5 seasonal / holiday style publishing niches. Let's jump into it. So before we begin, seasonal is basically the same as holiday themed books in this instance. I know that a season isn't the same as a holiday, but when it comes to these kinds of books, I just put them into one video here so it's clear, and I don't want to talk about season in one book or in one video and then holiday in another video. This video is all about seasonal and holiday style books. And most of these kinds of books are editions or themed books, okay? For either adults or kids, entertainment and activity books, okay? So what I mean by that is, for example, you wouldn't probably go around and make a self-help book that is like Christmas themed. That would be kind of weird. But you can have like activity books. So for kids, you could have some kind of coloring book and have it be Christmas themed or Halloween themed, for example. Or you could have an adult book that is like some activity book for adults and it could be holiday or Christmas themed, just so you can take advantage of that specific holiday and theme and really ramp the sales up for that book. Because, for example, and I'm going to get into this top 5 things here in a second, but I just want to mention this because it's important. When you're getting into seasonal and holiday style niches, it's important to realize that even if you had that particular adult activity book, for example, without it being themed, they're still going to do well during that holiday. But the idea behind making it a themed book, like a Christmas edition or winter edition, is to spike sales during that certain time of the year and get more out of that certain time of the year. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So now I want to get into, I just want to make sure that made sense before I jumped into all these different niches. And you're like, what kind of books is he publishing? That's the kind of idea behind these books. So now that you know that, let's jump into what I have made this month off of my Halloween style books, because this is October and is the 20th day of the month. And this isn't just my seasonal books as you're seeing on screen here, but my seasonal Halloween, autumn, fall style books have played a very key role in earning me 9,000 Canadian dollars in only 20 days off of my publishing business on KDP. Okay, so I'm just giving you an idea of the power of these seasonal books and what they can do for your publishing portfolio. Okay, so that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully we get to over 10K by the end of the month. I think we can. There's still about 10 days left. So that's where I'm at right now. So anyways, let's jump into number 1 here. So number 1 is Christmas and Thanksgiving. And this is just a given. Okay, Christmas and Thanksgiving is during Q4, which is the busiest time of the year on Amazon and any online business or business in general. Q4 is just the time when people are buying, okay? And because of that, Christmas and Thanksgiving are when things really start to take off. So if you have books that are related to Christmas and Thanksgiving, they can do very well. So this is by far the busiest time of the year on Amazon, and given that it's Q4, sales are bound to skyrocket. Taking advantage of making themed or edition books for Christmas makes regular books sell even better. So like I was saying before, if you have a regular book and you make it a Christmas themed book, winter themed book, Thanksgiving themed book, Thanksgiving edition, reindeer edition, I don't know, you can make a ton of editions that are all centered around Christmas or Thanksgiving. Turkey edition, I don't know, these are just things off the top of my head. And really take advantage of this time of year. The best part about these kinds of seasonal books is there are hundreds of different kinds of spin-offs. So as I was saying, reindeer edition, Christmas edition, tons of different spin-offs for different kinds of books that you can make them about, okay? And the only downside is that the ads during this time are very expensive. So if you're bidding on Amazon ads, the bids are going to be way up, and it's going to cost you a little bit more to compete with other people because there's so many other people trying to take advantage of this same time of year. So ads are going to be more expensive, but your sales are going to go up as well. So just something to take into account and be aware of. So number 2 is Father's Day. And I know this isn't like a season, but this is kind of a holiday style book, themed book. But Father's Day for me, I know this isn't probably number 2 in a lot of people's books, but for me, Father's Day did very well last year. And it has so many possible topics that it's insane. I know it might not seem like it, but there's tons of books you can make that are Father's Day centered. And a lot of gag gifts style books do very well during this time, like journals, jokes, stories, all centered around dads or fathers and stuff like that. They love jokes, journals, stuff like that. They do very well during this time. Father's Day proved to be one of the most profitable times of the year in 2020 for me so far. And one of the best parts is that Amazon ads cost a lot less than they do during Q4. So even though you're making more money during Q4, you might be spending a lot on ads. You might actually make the same amount of money during this time of year if we're talking profit. And obviously profit is number 1 here. That's what we're worried about the most. We're not worried about our revenue. We're worried about how much money we're taking in our pockets from the bank, okay? Profit is important, and you're spending less on ads during Father's Day, so you could be making just as much money as you could during Q4. Number 3 is one that lots of people look over, and it doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, in the KDP publishing space. And it's mainly because a lot of people think the back-to-school niche is very saturated, and it's tough to get into. But in my opinion, you can get into it if you have like spin-off books and ones that aren't exactly the main keywords. You can do very well with the back to school niche. Although a lot of the keywords within this niche are saturated, like I was saying, you can always do spin-off types of keywords to diversify yourself from the crowd, okay? And you also don't have to make these kinds of books educational, okay? Like lots of people who think back to school think that your book has to be educational, like learn to write or learn to print or like that kind of thing for kids. That's obviously a niche you could go into, but one thing you can do is take your regular books and make them a back to school theme and just be back to school edition. So like that's the time of the year that you're targeting that book for. Instead, you could turn entertainment books into back to school editions for kids. So you could have like a joke book for kids, and all the jokes in that book could be kind of back to school themed. Okay. So that's just something you could do to take advantage of the back to school season, but not have to jump into those educational learn to write niches that are like so saturated. Okay. So another great niche to look into in terms of seasons and holidays. Number 4 on this list is Halloween in October. This is based on my numbers last year. If I were to put this list based on my numbers this year, Halloween would be up at number 2, I think, but it doesn't really matter. This list is just a general list of my top 5 niches. And Halloween, October, autumn, fall, all those kinds of things, you can make books about that are themed in regard to those seasons. And Halloween is literally a no-brainer for seasonal books. Halloween books are super easy to make, and you can come up with tons of ideas. Same idea as Christmas. There's tons of characters you can make your books about: pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, monsters. All those kinds of books, you can make those kinds of themed books that are related to Halloween in October. You can make fall coloring books, autumn coloring books. I know that with adults, autumn coloring books are super popular. So tons of books you can make and take advantage of this part of the year, okay? Since the season is right at the beginning of the school year, you could also tie these kinds of books into educational topics as well and make fun versions of these learning books, okay? So not only can you make Halloween style books during Halloween, but you can also kind of join it with the back to school niche and take advantage of both of those times because they're similar and they're close to the same area. You can also make books that are themed like to autumn and fall, like I talked about. So the autumn coloring book for adults, definitely a good niche to get into. But for example, when it comes to the back to school thing and relating them to it, an example would be like Math Problems for Kids Halloween edition. And in that book, you could have a bunch of Halloween images around math problems. And that could be a Halloween style book taking advantage of the back to school season, October, Halloween, and like it would do well for multiple months on end. Okay. So another example of something that you could take advantage of when it comes to these seasonal style books. And adults love these kinds of books as well. Okay. When it comes to like the autumn coloring books and stuff like that, very, very popular on Amazon. And finally, number 5 is the Easter Q2 area. I know Easter Easter is Q1, so Easter shouldn't be beside Q2 there. But when I say Q2, I'm referring to like Mother's Day as well. And also in Q1 is like Valentine's Day. So we got like 3 seasons that kind of join together there that makes this a very powerful time of the year. And this time of the year, when Easter rolls around, is kind of like a mini Q4. And I say that with seriousness. It's definitely like a mini Q4 if you know how to take advantage of it. Not only is Easter at this time, but Valentine's is right before it and Mother's Day is after it, okay? So again, 3 main things that you can take advantage of on consecutive months. And I know that Mother's Day is in May and Easter is in March or April. It is March. That's when Easter is. So you can kind of have books that do well during all 3 of these seasons. And even though there's seasonal books that spike, like I was talking about, if you have books spread amongst all of these, you could do well for 4 to 5 months on end with all these kinds of books. You can really take advantage of 3 main seasons that I was just talking about back to back to back and get consistent sales from these kinds of books for around 3 to 4 to 5 months on end. Okay, so from like February, March, April, May, and into June is when we roll into Father's Day. So just think about all those seasons that you can take advantage of, those holidays, and have it almost be consistent income instead of that spiking income I was talking about. But have it be that spiking income, but take advantage of it for all those months on end, and just make it consistent income almost. Okay, so Easter all the way into Father's Day is a very powerful time of the year to take advantage of on KDP. So things to keep in mind. You need to get your books out 60 days before the holiday or season begins. And why is this? You need to have a proper book launch. You need to establish an organic ranking, and you need to properly optimize your Amazon ads. And you also need to get some reviews onto your books. Okay. Those 4 main things are very, very, very important. Okay. And in order to get those on there, you need to give yourself some time. You can't just release your book like a week before that holiday or season happens, okay? So for example, I can't just release a Christmas style book a week before Christmas. A week before Christmas is when those books are going to do the best, okay? You can't just be publishing the book at that time. You need to have it out around 2 months before that peak season happens. And that's when you're going to get the proper book launch established, organic ranking, optimize your Amazon ads, and have reviews on your books so they're ready and they're prepared for that time of year. And another thing that I want to mention is that the books you make will do well every single year during that certain time, okay? So just because you release it this year doesn't mean it's not going to do good next year. So it'll sit on Amazon. Obviously, the sales will slow down after a certain season or holiday, whatever the book is about. And they'll slow down, and then come around the next year is when it'll start doing good again, okay? So once you make it, obviously it's just gonna sit on Amazon and it's gonna compound over time, and you're gonna make more and more money off of that particular seasonal or holiday style book. If you can make books for each and every season, then even though they only spike for a few months, like I was talking about earlier on with the Easter example, the next season is right around the corner after. Okay, and this is why you'll see with like Kindle Direct Publishing, some people who only base their portfolio off of seasonal style, holiday style books, things will slow down in the summer because there's not a whole lot you can do about June or July and August. But if you like, this is why I think it's so important to diversify your portfolio. Have books that aren't seasonal based and just stay consistent throughout the year, but also take advantage of the seasonal and holiday style things and mix them together into one big portfolio that does very well for you. So you have consistent sales during those slow times, like the summer and stuff like that. Okay. And if you want to learn more about that, I do have a program that is 100% free down below that you can learn all about that kind of thing. Okay. Last thing here. Don't put things like 2020 edition onto your books. And this kind of ties into what I was just talking about. I made this mistake this year and now I can't update it for 2021 since it's a paperback version of the book. Okay, so if you put 2020 in the title of your paperback, you can't update a paperback title on Amazon KDP once it's live. So I can't just put 2021 next year when the same season rolls around. So this just gives off the impression that the book is outdated. Okay, so don't put like 2020 in there, or I don't know, 2020 is probably the only thing you could really put it, like whatever year you're releasing it in, don't put the year on the cover, okay? Because it'll look outdated eventually and it won't sell for years on end. And that's what our goal is, to have these sell year after year and bring in that consistent income, okay? So as I was saying, if you want to learn more about this whole seasonal holiday style, DIY style publishing that I've been talking about in this video, you can join Publisher Startup down below, 100% free. Not holding anything back. It's literally going to show you how to make your first book and get it ready for Amazon, okay? That's what this program is all about. The link is down below if you're interested in joining it, and I hope to see some of you guys in there. But anyways, that is it for seasonal holiday style books. Those are my top 5 niches: Christmas, Thanksgiving. What was number 2? Father's Day. Number 3 was back to school. Number 4 was Halloween and like October, fall area. And number 5 was Easter in Q2 area. Q1 with Valentine's Day and Mother's Day and all that stuff in that same area. Okay, so those are my main ones that I like to take advantage of. Those are basically all the seasons in the year. I don't know. That's just a list of the best ones to the least best ones, I guess you could call them. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that list of seasons, but that is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you got a lot out of it, and I hope to see some of you guys join a publisher startup. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on it, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. I try to post new videos maybe once a week, twice a week, okay? So hopefully you enjoyed it, and I hope to see some of you guys in publisher startup, and I'll see you in the next video.